And just like that, the Jets are down a potential key contributor for the 2023 season as Corey Davis announces he will be stepping away from the NFL. I'm Glenn Naughton with Jet Nation Radio and JetNation.com. Be sure to log into JetNation.com where you can register and become a part of what is the most active Jets message board on the web. So here I am with the family vacationing in the beautiful south of France, small village called Van Sub that you've never heard of. And I'm trying to set up a podcast because I'm getting some weird vibes with the Corey Davis thing. And I'm reaching out, I'm talking to Dylan Terraman, I'm talking to Scott Mason. We're trying to set something up. And me and Scott have something set up, and he says he can do it. Scott of Play Like a Jet, of course. I hop in my car, I get home, look at my phone, and 4 minutes after we confirmed hopping on to do a show, Corey Davis announces he's stepping away from the NFL. Didn't see it coming, saw something coming. As I said, quite a few people, got really unhappy with me last night because I said I thought a Davis trade was imminent. Why? Because something felt wrong. He missed time during OTAs. He missed time now. Significant. I mean, he's missing days at a time. No talk of an injury. No talk publicly of anything. The Jets wouldn't discuss him unless he was asked, or unless Robert Saleh was asked about Corey Davis. He wasn't being mentioned as far as I can recall. Finally today, Rich Samini said, what's the time frame on Corey's return? And Robert Saleh just said, as much time as he needs. So at that point, that kind of reaffirmed what I thought before, which was this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel normal. You don't see starting players just given time off, and especially the fact he was given time off during OTAs as well. So there was a lot of time that this team was allowing Corey Davis to not be with the team. And this could be that it is a personal matter, at 100%. And if it is, I hope it's something Corey Davis and his family and whatever, I hope they work through it and everything's fine for them. Your thoughts are with a player anytime you hear about something like this. You don't want it to be something life-changing in a negative way. But it could be, look, you've seen him on Hard Knocks, talking about how, life now is it becomes about your kids. He's got a young daughter he's out there playing with on the field. Maybe Corey Davis is looking at it saying, is it worth the risk of CTE? Is it worth the risk of a life-changing injury? I have enough money. I have a kid. Maybe that's it. I don't know. All I do know is that the situation didn't feel right. I thought maybe a trade. Of all the guys on this roster that the Jets could have moved, he probably had some of the best value in terms of for what he was due to make, $11 million, and what he's capable of producing. Granted, he's missed some time the last couple of years, but even with what he's done when he's been on the field, a relative bargain in today's market, which is why I said, I know there were not many of us, but a few people said going into this offseason, don't assume Corey Davis is being cut. Don't assume the Jets are going to dump him. For what he produces and what he makes and what's happened with the receiver market in recent years, he's a bargain. So him being talented, him being 28, still a young guy, him being a bargain financially, I thought if the Jets are going to move a guy, because they like Brownlee, they like Gibson, they brought in Cobb, they brought in Lazard, they need some depth at tackle, maybe Davis is a guy they move, and then they start giving him days off. And, he's away from the team, he's not practicing, which teams will often do when they're looking to move a guy. They did it with Denzel Mims. Stay home, don't worry about coming to practice. We're trying to move you right now, and if we can move you, we don't want you getting hurt and jeopardizing a trade. So, as I said, trade is what it felt like, and it's Davis retiring. So, where the Jets go from here, it's obviously for a guy like Jason Brownlee, who I thought had a chance to make the team already. And I'd said that he's a guy that maybe with Denzel Mims, with that trade, maybe that solidifies a roster spot for Brownlee. You got to believe this does it. I mean, I get Xavier Gibson, another young, talented kid who they like, who is in the mix. That Gibson and Brownlee could both make it at this point because Gibson doesn't offer what Brownlee does in being a bigger guy on the outside who can fight for contested balls, things that Corey Davis would do. Now, Jason Brownlee gets an opportunity, potentially, I would expect, gets the opportunity to replace Corey Davis. Now, if the Jets don't love, clearly they like Brownlee. If you saw Hard Knocks, you saw the pre-draft talk where they viewed him as a guy who could be a third-round talent. They get him as a UDFA, and maybe we know they love him, but do they feel he's ready to step in now? And be whatever Corey Davis was expected to be this season. So we don't know. And listen, that could have been a factor. Maybe it was Corey Davis's role this year. Maybe he was, not happy with how much he was going to play, and that's why, again, important difference here. Didn't say retiring, said stepping away. Maybe it was, we talked earlier in the offseason where the Jets coming to him about a pay cut, similar to what they did with Jamison Crowder. Come to a guy at a point in the offseason when not a lot of teams have a ton of money, and you say, look, we want you to take a pay cut. And that was kind of what I'd speculated at the time, that he was excused from OTAs. No pay cut ever surfaced. He hangs around, and now he walks away. Again, steps away from football. So I do hope, with everything that's going on, I hope it is football related, whether it's financial, whether it's playing time, whether it's just feeling like you're done with the game. I really hope that's the situation, and that it's not something in Corey Davis's life that's making him have to step away from the game. But more on this, I'm sure Dylan Terraman and Chris Schubert will cover it. I may be hopping on with them tomorrow night, if possible, to go over this and some more as the season approaches, and the Jets potentially looking to do they make a move now at receiver, or are they happy with the room they have? More to be seen on that, but that'll do it for this one. Shocking news out of one Jets drive. We'll see how the Jets adjust.